All signs seem to point to this. It could be time to run it back for a couple of former Padres currently on the free agent list. What's going on, everybody? This is Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Let's talk this time about how we might not even need to trade for somebody. We can just kick the tires on some former Padres making their return to fix some of the offensive issues that the Friars have in their lineup. Specifically, want to talk about two main guys that I'm saying it's within the realm of possibility. Look, there's a lot of opportunities and options out there for trades, for different packages, and I want to run down the details of why I think maybe the Padres are a little asset-strapped and might need to dive into the veteran free agency. If you could, though, before we go any further, hit the subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. All right, let's talk about some baseball I want to specifically get back to. We'll start with this guy, Yasmani Grandal. He is one of two former Padres who is currently a free agent. This video is dedicated to the free agent options. We have trade options. We have different call up and call down and permutate. Like, there's a lot of other videos on the timeline. Go check all those out. This one is dedicated to who is out there that is just not on a team right now that might be a little bit of a help. And you're saying, Christian, what does Yasmani Grandal have left in the tank? Is he any good? Why is he not on a team? And yes, he is not what he once was. Here was his 2024 offensive numbers for Grandal. It's good. It's better than some of the San Diego Padres' offensive production has been at the catching position this season. He's 36, so like I'm not talking about a guy who I'm trying to reinvent the wheel here and be like, oh, we're going to have a massive catching run. I'm saying, look, if he can hit 225 and give us 4 home runs between now and the end of the season, he could be platoon at catcher and DH and help ease. Even if he's not the left field issue, he adding into the catcher DH situation because of his ability to switch hit could be a guy who like fills enough of those gaps that then allows us to move in a different and more confident direction on a left fielder or on some more premium catching. For those of you not well-versed in the Padres minor league system, this is where our top 10 prospects in the franchise currently are. Top 2 guys there, we've talked a fair amount about this season, and top 2 guys there are largely considered untouchable by anybody and everybody that is writing about this. They get the sense that those two would be, well, Salas right now is on the IL, so he is untouchable, but both of those, in theory, would not be guys that they want to dish. So going past that, Mayfield, Cruz, Bateman, Hightower, these are not necessarily top blue-chip prospecting names that can be dished singularly, individually for tons of talent. So the need to bundle this plus others plus to go out and get some of these bigger deals done, the Padres will need to dip deep into this potentially and probably only have one good shot, only have one good move to make. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we just got to, other people's trash is our treasure, and we got to go get the hulking remains of Yasmani Grandal's carcass out of retirement to come hit 225 for us. Or the other guy that I am wanting to talk about a little bit that I have long, in many a group chat, said the Padres need to bring back, Anthony Rizzo. Kid that started here with the Padres. Why not come back and finish here with the Padres? An honorary jersey retirement for coming back and hitting a grand total of 4 home runs and 225. Rizzo is a little bit more singularly of the DHE part and is a left-handed bat, so is not necessarily somebody who I have he's probably below Grandal in terms of the offense or of the free agent options. We'll show you the stats for Rizzo from last season in New York. So both of these guys, like if either of these, if inserting a 225 and a couple of home runs, couple of ribbies to close out the second half of this season is a great stabilizer. Yasmani Grandal at catcher, DH. Rizzo, I'm not saying put Rizzo out in left, but Rizzo coming into DH a little bit and be a guy they can plug a gap also just does a service of, again, closing and narrowing the needs for the Padres so that they can really focus in on getting somebody like a Jarren Duran or a Cedric Mullins or the guy from the Marlins whose name is blanking me right now, Kyle Stowers from the Marlins. I think there are some of those options out there that if you add this, the Padres then can make the sense internally to be like, we can dip in between all of these guys plus, you know, a Terso or a Lockridge or a whoever in exchange for a Jarren Duran, in exchange for one of those pieces that then ends up fixing left field, but you don't then also have to make another trade out of depleting this. You can just say, hey, the other options were plugged because we spent league veteran minimum $2 million or whatever to put Yasmani Grandal back on the bench coming out of rotation. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I think, though, there's something in there in all of this that could be really interesting for the Padres to make, kind of like I said, an unsuspected move where all signs are kind of pointing to like they're going to have to do it anyway, in terms of just finding something in the scrap heap, whether it is free agency or a big bargain basement deal. I think the Padres have some options. Like I said, there are others free agents, though, so let me know in the comment section if you think anybody else on the free agent list is somebody that the Padres should go after. I mean, it's not the most comprehensive. It's not the deepest of yours. There are not a ton of guys holding out. So I'd say specifically the Padres run it back, maybe just because it's a fun story, but maybe also because there could be a little bit of an offensive fix here to fill some of the gaps necessary that the Padres could benefit from, and then also just as easily get rid of if, say, by the midseason we're ready to call up Terso or we find a Brandon Salazar or someone like that in our catching rank. Like these are also guys that just as easily as they can be added on right now are completely back-end disposable when a more permanent solution ends up presenting itself for the Padres. So that's why I think these could be some great moves. If for nothing else, it's just fun for the, hey, remember for the 10 days that we brought so-and-so back and then it all flamed out. Like how Jake Arrieta was a Padre for a very, very, very hot second and it ended in absolute total chaos. So maybe that's what I'm signing myself up for here is a little mid-season theatrics of remember when the Padres were exploding at every end and trying to fix it all while the flying forward and we thought that so-and-so was going to be it and we just failed. Who knows? Could be fun, though. Let me know what you think. And like I said at the beginning, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, keep the faith, Padres fans. 2025 is getting better and better.